Intel absolutely decimating the entire laptop industry. Apple might have new ones for us today, and Intel also decimating the GPU industry. What's going on? Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast. And we're starting to get some reviews coming out about Intel's new 13th gen laptops. And in fact, Jsaux Tech revealing some CPU benchmark numbers that are not under embargo. However, there are some GPU numbers under embargo for the RTX 4090 laptops that he wasn't able to share in his video. But what you can see is Intel is absolutely just kind of wrecking a whole lot of stuff when it comes to the CPU side of things. So the 13980HX, the high-end laptop processor that Intel is bringing to the market that has 24 cores, has 32 threads, and the MSI laptops that were provided to Jsaux Tech can do up to 250 watts of power delivery shared between the CPU and the GPU, making it so that it's able to deliver insane benchmark numbers. So the Cinebench R23 run that Jsaux Tech did landed at a multi-core score of 30,498. To put that into perspective for you, AMD's fastest CPU for laptops, the 6900HX, is about half of that. In fact, it's under 50% of what the 13980HX can do, and it's about 25% faster than the fastest 12950HX that Jsaux Tech has actually tested. So this is a insanely fast CPU when you compare it to other laptops. But when you compare it to desktop processors, that's when this thing gets absolutely nutty. It beats out a 2990WX Threadripper chip with 32 cores and 64 threads in multi-score performance. And if we take a look at other desktop chips that it competes with, the 30,000 points is enough to go toe-to-toe with the 13700K desktop. It's enough to go toe-to-toe and beat out the Ryzen 9 7900X and beats out the 12900K from Intel's previous flagships, the 5950X. Essentially, if you're not the 7950X, you're getting stomped on by this laptop processor. And if you're not the 13900 or K variant, you're getting stomped on by this bad boy as well. Intel delivering some insane performance in the laptop. Obviously, price point, expenditure, bulkiness, heat, whatever, we could discuss that all day, but it's very clear that it's a performer. It can work. If you need the fastest laptop gaming workstation, it looks like this is going to be it for you. That is incredible. Those are some beefy numbers, but we got beefier numbers to talk about with Intel towards the end of today's hot news episode. So we'll get to that after we get to today's video sponsor. My friends, today's video is sponsored by Jsaux and their adjustable lazy long arm, which is great for holding a wide variety of devices. I, in fact, actually have mine hooked up to our tablet, which is actually going to be on a brand new set that I'm working on for our videos coming up. And it's great to have that there for actually reading notes or watching Twitch chat, because we've actually been live streaming all day, every day, and it's just been fun to have around. But it's so versatile that you don't have to just use it to hold an iPad. You can use it to hold your Steam Deck in case you want to have it elevated while you're playing it, but you don't actually want to bear the weight, or in case you want to have it really close to your face and get a really close to VR experience if you want. But it can be modified to hold a whole host of different devices, from tablets to the Steam Deck, as well as them having a phone stand, which allows you to adjust it to many different angles and to get it in the proper position that you want to use it in. These things are so cool that when I mentioned it to Reece, he said that he's already been looking at them, but he can't get them in South Africa, so he's sad that I have it and he doesn't. These things actually can make things really cool, especially since he has to have his iPad on a stand to mirror his display to have whole two display setup. This thing can actually allow you to do that in case you want to use an iPad as a sidecar. And if you click the link in the video description and use code UFD Tech, you can save $5 off the adjustable lazy long arm universal stand. It'll allow you to get whatever device you need in the position that you need to have it in without you having to hold it up yourself, and you can save $5 by using code UFD Tech. Again, check it out at the link in the video description. Big thanks to Jsaux for sponsoring today's video. But Intel's not the only one with beefy laptop details coming out. There's new reports, even though I heard the exact opposite recently, that Apple is supposed to be launching their new M2 Pro and M2 Max MacBook Pros today. The previous rumors I was reading was like, they're super delayed. They're not even happening in the first quarter. Turns out that likely they're happening today, according to industry insiders, that there will be an announcement, then press briefings, then review units, and likely Monday we will start to see reviews of these to come out on January 23rd. So it does look like Apple might have a lot that they're shaking and baking under the hood. We haven't seen a ton of leaked benchmarks on these, not a ton of indication of how well they're going to perform. If they're anything like the M2 to the M1, it's going to be a modest iteration. You're going to get 15 to 30% faster performance than you did over the previous generation, and not a huge leap. Potentially that'll be coming with next year's version with the M3s. We'll just have to wait and see. But confirming a little bit of this is there's new regulatory filings showing off that the MacBook Pro should actually get Wi-Fi 6E. So a little scoochy dooch update in the Wi-Fi department to make it a little bit faster in that regards. And we're going to go fast through Cryptostonks because Bitcoin's up 1.8% to be at 21,279. Ethereum's up 2.2% to be at 1587. Dogecoin's down 1.28% to be at 8.4 cents. And Tesla is down 1% to be at 122.40. They haven't closed just yet as of the time of filming, but I've closed my heart off to any other UFD Deals provider besides Reece. He's the Reeciest. I love him.
Welcome to UFD Deals. It's me, your backup Reece. Regular Reece likes to shift in and out of phases of existence. Today, he doesn't exist. But if you go to the link in the video description, you can find all these deals that Reece has left for you, like this TV, or this watch, or this RAM, or whatever this is, or this laptop, or some more RAM, or another laptop, or more RAM, or more laptops. Any deal that your heart desires, you can probably find it here. I'm sure that if you wish hard enough, Reece will pop back into existence in the future.
Thanks for those great deals, but I know that you guys aren't using the UFD Deals to buy hard drives because, thankfully, I really appreciate this. Everybody has stopped buying hard drives. Hard drive shipments have halved in 2022. Quarterly and yearly shipment data have come out from TrendForce with regards to what's going on with hard drives, and there's a lot fewer hard drives coming out. So Seagate sold 43% fewer year over year. Toshiba was down 40% year over year. Western Digital was down 43% year over year. And the entire industry was down 42% year over year. So that's mostly in 3.5-inch drives. There are some like 2.5-inch drives that are growing quarter over quarter at 15% increase into Q4. But regardless, it does look like hard drives are getting more and more niche, which I've always been on the train for the last I don't know. I think for the last 7 years, I've refused to have a physical hard drive in my system. That's been me personally. And I think for the last 2 to 3 years, I've been on the train that regardless of price to terabyte, you're at the point right now where you just need to stop hoarding data, and getting an actual SATA SSD is cheap enough that you don't have to consider hard drives anymore, okay? Unless you're really actually storing a ton of data intensive things. It's not like gamers shouldn't have hard drives. It's just I firmly believe that with my whole heart. You don't need a hard drive for gaming. There's plenty of other scenarios and applications where hard drives make sense, and I think that's kind of where we're going, where it's going to be more of a niche market item rather than a recommended market item, which I just like. Even for the budget PC builds, where I see people like get a 512 gig boot drive or a 256 gig boot drive on the SSD and then buy a 2 terabyte hard drive. Just get a 1 terabyte SSD and stop storing so much stuff. Like it's gonna be way better in the daily use case, and you honestly don't need that much, okay? Just give up your storage ways. It's perfectly cromulent, my guys, to just have 1 terabyte of SSD and call it good there. But Norton might not want to call it good with their security features, because Norton Lifelock going under customer breaching, where their details have gotten leaked because of a credential stuffing attack, where this happened on December 1st. They found out about the large volume about it on December 12th, so nearly 2 weeks later is only when they discovered that the breach was happening, and they have recently notified the 6,450 customers whose accounts have been affected. So just not a good time to be storing your things with any sort of cloud provider. With the LastPass hack that's been going on recently, now Norton LifeLock, it's not a good time. Guys, just start storing all of the hashes and the bits in your brain, okay? Just go to Elon Musk, get the Neuralink installed, and start generating your own 32-character cryptographic passwords. Stop trying to remember it all or store it anywhere. But I talked about at the beginning of the episode that there's a lot of good details coming out about Intel's GPUs. My friends, these are numbers you're going to want to see, okay? This is something that I'm very excited about. Every time there's a little bit of news surrounding this one topic, I always have to cover it, and that is regarding direct storage on PC with GPU compression and decompression. This is going to unlock faster video game load times, finally getting past the console supremacy that's been going on with the Series X and the PS5 for the last 2 years. Hopefully, once this is enabled, we'll actually see some mighty fine loading improvements on PC. But the kicker here is that there are new benchmark numbers coming out showing that Intel just absolutely not only punches above its weight class, but absolutely destroys the competition in direct storage 1.1. So showing various different forms of storage and how you can do the compression and decompression, what you'll see is that the SATA version right over here is roughly 1.5 gigabytes per second, but the Arc A770 still does it the fastest at 1.64 gigabytes per second, beating out the 12900K, the RTX 4080, and the 7900 XT. When you upgrade to a PCI Express 3.0 storage, Intel's lead grows even more, whereas the Nvidia GPU does 12.7, the AMD GPU does 12.6, but the Arc A770 coming in at 13.9, and then if you upgrade to PCI Express 4.0, that's the A770 still kicking butt, 16.8 gigabytes per second in total speed, whereas the 7900 XT is at 14.6, 4080 is at 15.3, and the 12900K again is at 5.2, where right now we are kind of using CPUs for compression and decompression. So that number is currently where we are. We should triple the speed once we unlock GPUs, but if you want the fastest load times, looks like Intel's gonna be the way to go, which I just very excited about direct storage. Really good to see that Intel has a lot of good feature sets that have been underutilized at the moment, and I think this kind of is the indication that I got from Intel. They are struggling on the software side of things, but the hardware is really, really good. Once and once they figure out drivers, Intel should punch way above their weight class. We have already seen them fix a lot of DX9 stuff. Hopefully they continue to improve on that, where these A770s going for $329 might actually start competing with higher class GPUs, and they might age like fine wine. Intel, the new fine wine GPU? I don't know. That's right, here's to hoping. I'm hoping that hot news is over. Oh, it is? Okay, I'll see you back here for more hot news tomorrow, my friends. Cheers.